All right, something else. Yeah.
Dr. Ruckman, in Revelation 13:15, where it talks about where he had given power to the life of the image of the beast.
Uh-huh.
That image of the beast, is that Daniel's image?
Is that what?
Daniel's image? Would that be Daniel's image?
Daniel's image?
Yeah, the image of the beast.
All right, could be. All right, in Revelation chapter 13, there's this thing giving life to this beast. The verse he quoted is 15. Revelation 13:15. Now, as you get near the tribulation, what you find is the devil's a great counterfeiter. As you get near the tribulation, one of the ways you know you're getting near there is by reading a newspaper, watching a television set. And you watch all the counterfeit stuff begin to move in to get you off this, to get you on that. For example, one of the favorite terms used in all the newspaper stories is so-and-so's image. And to get your image, and to make sure they have a good image, a good image, a good image, a good image. Long about 45, see, Christian in America, they're stupid. They're not alert. They don't notice these things. Along about 45, you start to call presidents by 3 initials. FDR, JFK, see, and nobody even picked the thing up. Talked about the Ku Klux Klan at the KKK, and then they became the CIA, and the NRA, and the AFL. And all of a sudden, all these acronyms popped up with 3 letters in them. You know what they're getting you ready for? They're getting you ready for 666. And the people are asleep. You people today, you've taken the number of the beast this week maybe 40 times. You haven't taken his mark, and since it's not attached to him yet, it won't damn you. But when you went through the counter and put your groceries over the counter, they had a 6 stars. And when you put that thing over the counter, it went beep, beep. When you pick that thing up, it had in the back of that thing a bunch of vertical bars and a code. And the first two were two thin lines, in the middle were 2 thin lines, the end were 2 thin lines, and there's no number on those lines. But if you kept buying enough junk, after a while, you'd find a 6 on a package, and you looked above it, there'd be 2 thin lines there. So what you've been buying there at that counter all week long and all year long is an item where the first number is 6, and the middle number is 6, and the last number is 6. But you take people, they're just, stupid. They're so busy listening to Swindler and MacArthur and Schuller, they don't know what's going on. Have a nice day. 15. And he had power to give life to the image of the beast. The image of the beast should both speak and call as many who will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now he had power to give life to the image of the beast. That's real life. You say, well, the devil hadn't got power to give life. Yes, he does. You say, what about that thing back in the Old Testament where Moses turned the dust into lice, and they said, this is the finger of God. The magicians couldn't counterfeit it. Yeah, but you see what they couldn't counterfeit was the original creation. The lice were made out of dust. That's Genesis 2. They could counterfeit the life. The devil get permission from God to activate a thing and give it life. How do you know that? Genesis 3, his seed, the devil's seed, he can give life. Shall bruise your heel. So what you have here is life given to an image. Now, if you want to see the foreview of that, you go to Disney World. And down in Disney World, here are all these pretty little statues standing around. And the Hall of the Present, they'll stand there and speak like they have life. Of course, it's all mechanical. At Disney World, they've got everything but life. You want to remember that. They've got everything but life. The whole place is dead. I've been to Disney World 3 times. 1 time was enough for me. Then the kids wanted to go the 2nd time. And then a preacher down there took me the 3rd time. And I like a couple of rides, and things. And some of the novelist stuff. But the place to me, you see, is spooky. I'll tell you why. Because everything is good. It's all positive. Did you notice there are no armed police in that place? Do you know it got robbed of $20,000 about a year ago and the news never even got out? They didn't want to get out because it would be bad publicity? You know what that thing is? That's a dream world for you to get in where everything is just right. You know what's missing in that place? I've been through it 3 times. You know what's missing? A church. They'll show you Main Street, USA, back in the 1900s, and here's the drugstore, and the grocery store, and the firehouse, and the pub down Main Street, and no church. Well, this country was filled with churches in 1700 and 1800. I went by one thing there in the APOC, whatever the thing is, and here was a big old mural some artist had painted about as big as this thing here. Amazing picture. Here was a caveman coming up here with his stuff, and the pyramids and the idols and the Buddhist temple and a Muslim temple and a minaret and the Catholic Church and the Greek Orthodox building, and all these people go uphill and then entering this vast city whose top reached clear to heaven. And then right in front of that city was you wouldn't believe it, go down and look at it sometime, was a great big rotunda about twice the size, and a statue in there. And there was that statue standing there, and you know what it was? It was the angel of death that I painted from illustration in the book of Revelation in 1970. I mean, the black wings and the whole thing standing right there. Mickey Mouse. All right, now here's the question he asked. Come back to Daniel. And notice if the image in Daniel is a type of the image in Revelation 13, the question comes up, is it the same image or is something like it? All right, in Daniel chapter 3, verse 1, here's this image. You know Nebuchadnezzar typed the Antichrist, that's for certain. You know Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are pictures of the Jews in the tribulation, that's certain. You know the image is a picture of the Antichrist image, that's for certain. And there are two things you want to notice about it. Daniel chapter 3, verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. Now you want to notice the measurements. It only has 2 measurements. There's only one object that has 2 measurements, that's a cylinder. Now you go down there, you say, I want 10 feet of 2 before. I want 12 feet of 4B. I want 24 feet of 1 by 2. But when you get the pipe, you say, I want 16 feet a quarter inch round. Or I want 16 inches of galvanized iron 2-inch pipe. You see, if it's round, it only has 2 measurements. Everything else has the length and a breadth and a breadth and a width. But if something that's round only has 2 measurements because the breadth and the width are the same. So when he said 60 and then said 6, you know what he's telling you? That thing is 60 by 6 by 6. That thing is 666. All right, 3. And 80 cubits, and the breadth 6 cubits. Hey, he had set it up. Now, if you get a pen or something and mark this thing, you'll find in verse 3, set up, verse 2, set up, verse 3 twice, set up, verse 5, set up. You mark that thing down to verse 7, it occurs in that paragraph 6 times. It says 6 times he set that thing up. Now, I didn't know. Verse 5, at what time you hear the cornet 1, flute 2, harp 3, sackbut 4, psaltery 5, and dulcimer 6, and all kinds of music, bow down and worship thee and be Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So you got 6 instruments there. You got 6 instruments on something set up 6 times that is 60 by 6 by 6. Now you couldn't possibly miss the connection. And the question is this the image? And if I was going to answer it, I'd say, no, it wouldn't be that exact image, but that image is certainly a type of it. It's certainly a type, and it will come alive. And it'll be probably some electronics and computerized stuff in it. Now, I don't know if you know what's going on in these universities. I mean, the bigger the belfry, the more room for the bats. But in these universities right now, including Washington, Oregon, I mean, they're just big a hellhole than any place else. What they're doing in biochemistry and the organic chemistry departments, they're fooling around with genes and chromosomes and RNA and DNA and bionomers and ribosomes and genetic chains and codes. And what they're trying to do is mix those things to join the plants to the animals so they can prove evolution, and join the animals to the men so they can prove evolution. And then the next step would be to join the man to the machine. As a consequence, you Christians who are naive and lazy and taken up with your wife and family and kids and job and tax instead of the Bible, you know what you've done? You spend time messing around with Star Wars and watching it, and here coming down the road is a man, just an ordinary man. And then right behind him comes a walking, talking animal, right behind him. And then right behind him comes a walking, talking machine. And then just behind him comes a genuine jukebox or fire hydrant. Here comes this little old thing that's a regular machine, like a slot machine. And all that stuff is getting you ready. I mean, when they go into the pub where all the monsters are, they're getting ready to get you to accept genetic manipulation. And they're preparing you. And let me tell you something. You just keep fooling with them magazines and newspapers and them radio preachers and them television preachers, and you go right down the line. I'm an artist, and I fool with art and things and draw pictures. My mind's very visual. And I'm going to tell you something from an artistic standpoint. From the standpoint of an artist, whether I was saved or lost, I'd still notice this. I'd noticed in the last 20 years they're conditioning you to accept ugliness as beauty. And the idea is eventually to get you to accept monstrosities and perversion as normal. That's what's behind it. And that thing comes in art in peculiar ways. It comes in ways like, you can be ugly and have a beautiful soul, understand that. I don't think any such thing as an ugly old Christian woman that lived for the Lord. Amen. There's some ugly young ones. But when a woman gets older, if the Lord's in her, he comes through her. But you take out there, I'm not making fun of your looks. Like McGinley said, I got finely chiseled features, but the chisel slipped. But he said the stork that brought you made a crash landing. These comedians said, I know who you are. I know who you are. If I had a doctor deliver you, could sue him for malpractice. But you take all that stuff about the happy little monsters, and the little kitties playing with the dinosaurs. They're getting you ready. All right, something else.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.